And then once Tracksmith started, a lot of the original pillars are still, they are what we are today. But the name wasn't Tracksmith. We actually, it's funny because when we had we're 5.5 years, but when we hit our fourth year, I did like a big presentation to the company and went through the whole, founding story. And I dug up all the documents and, coming up with the name. I mean, it took us a really long time, but we were really thoughtful and considerate about it. But for a while we were Boston Supply Company, and we really thought that was going to be the name of the company. We lived with that probably for a month and a half, and then it just didn't feel right. We started creating the identity and putting it on apparel, and it didn't feel right. And so then we went to, I feel like it was maybe more of a joke, but we were Fishback for a while, there's this steeplechaser named Jeff Fishback, who was a really good steeplechaser and 2-miler. And so that was in the running for a while. And then eventually it was Tracksmith. And, so yeah, it was less about, it being, different in terms of, the sort of main pillars that make up the brand. But yeah, the name and some of those things were, it took us a while to actually land on what we did. The iteration of like the logo, the rabbit, all of those things were, it's fun to look back on what the original direction of those were.
Curious, why did you land on the rabbit?
So the brand identity had a couple requirements from what we wanted. And one of them was we wanted to create a brand that felt like it had been or could have been around for a long time, right? So we didn't want something that felt super trendy and of the moment. So no ampersands, no Z's for S's, we wanted it to feel like it was something that could have been around for a long time. And Tracksmith, that ended up working. And when we looked at a lot of the brands that we admired that had been around for 50 to 100 years or more, a lot of them used animals as part of their identity. And at the time, we had reached out to a really great illustrator and based in London. And he was a book illustrator, children's book, and sort of like an Alice in Wonderland style was his sort of illustration style. And so we said, I'm very fascinated by birds of prey. So we started looking at like hawks and falcons, but then also hares are, pretty aggressive and amazing animals. And bunny rabbits are cute and cuddly, but hares are like, they're kind of badass. And so anyway, he started sketching, and it immediately just hit on the, what it looked great. And there's actually 3 versions of the logo. The one that you see that we use on all of our apparel, but then there's actually 2 other drawings that we own, and sort of we use them occasionally in like playful settings and stuff, but we landed on the main logo as our our main mark. But then we've got these other 2 that we sometimes break out. So